Now, domestic violence and sexual violence are a serious scourge in our society. In my time as Children's Minister, I came to see how something like 75% of child safeguarding cases involve domestic violence in the home. Amazingly, 35% of domestic violence starts when a woman is pregnant. Now, it's not just against women, it's against men as well, but it's predominantly against women. So this government brought in, just before the election was called, a domestic abuse bill. I spoke in support of that. There are some really important measures to make it easier for women to report domestic abuse, encouraging women to come forward, giving them the support they need after a very brave act of coming forward to report domestic abuse, and that can be psychological abuse as well as physical violence as well. That new bill will come back straight after the election, and we will make sure it's law next year. We're also bringing in new measures and new funding for support services for victims of domestic abuse and also of rape. The conviction figures for rape in this country are woefully low. We've got to make the courts more user-friendly. We've done a lot there already. We've got to encourage more women to come forward, and we've got to get more convictions there as well. And we're also putting more money through what was called the tampon tax into women's refuges. And again, I want to see a lot more done there. We also need to help victims. So there's going to be a new victims law bill that makes sure that victims are supported and victims don't end up being pilloried by the people who've committed crimes against them. So we're making it easier in court for victims to give their evidence without having to go up in front of the very person who has actually victimised them, be it in sexual abuse cases, rape cases, domestic abuse and others. So this Conservative government is on the side of the victim, we're on the side of the police, and we need to clamp down once and for all, and this is a big change, societal change as well, that sexual abuse, domestic abuse is just not on. It needs to be called out, and the people perpetrating it need to be caught and punished.